What's up, guys? It's your girl Mika. So last night or early this morning, before I wake up, I always have these very lucid dreams. And one thing that stood out to me was the fact: do you want to be a borrower or do you want to have? And I know a lot of people may not understand that. But do you want to always be a borrower or do you want to have? So if you want to have, you got to be able to trust God. You got to be able to stand on your own. And I know a lot of people manifest. I'm huge on it as well. I've been on it years and years and years and years ago, when I came into a situation that took me to my lowest of low. However, during that time, God never allowed me to fall or fail. Even though it seemed like I was losing, but by me making a statement, one simple statement to my children, aloud, and I felt that statement when I made it, even though my eyes were filled with tears, and it was just, whatever I could muster up to get that statement out, I had to make it. Excuse me. I just took my inhaler, so I apologize. And that statement was, it won't always be like this. It will not always be like this. And I meant that. I didn't care what I had to do in order to get out of that. I never wanted to be on the borrowing end. Because why would I need to be a borrower when I can say, hey, God, this is what I need. You know my needs. You know my wants. But I know I need to express that, and I need to act like that, or have the energy to even go into that direction of having and achieving those things that I am calling out for. So at that time, and it took me about, I don't even know if it took me a year to get out of that situation, but I had to go through that process. I had to go through that lowest of low in order to get to a higher ground. Now, during that time, yeah, I had to ask, hey, can I please borrow? And the only person I asked was my mom. And she did, lend me some money until I got, my taxes back pretty much. And when I got my taxes back, I paid her back. But baby, let me tell you something. But when God came in, when I had to call out, because he's there, you just have to make what you want known and move into that direction, because ain't nothing happening without you. So when we manifest, when we try to call things into existence, we have to do just that. But let me tell you what a lot of people fail to realize. While you're out here manifesting things, when you're out here manifesting houses and cars and trips and all of this extra money, what you fail to realize is nothing is going to happen without you. So before you start asking for those materialistic things, let's hit the pause button and start asking to be fixed. Start being healed, because that is what's going to make the difference. See, I could have had all of that. The stuff that I went through, that was all here. It was all here. It hit me financially, but it was all here. Like, dang, how did I allow this to happen? It was within. It was myself. I allowed that to happen. But when I started realizing, and I started reading the self-development books way back when, what a lot of people wouldn't even worry about them and studying all of that stuff. But when I started thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, I need to fix my mindset first. Let me fix this. Humble me. And I said, God, one of my prayers was to never allow me to see myself as others see me. And people didn't understand that. And some people still don't understand that. But I'll go into that later. Excuse me, stupid inhaler. But at the same time, I had to also ask for you, not just to be humbled, but to always think positive, and to never allow any negative energy to affect me. Never allow my energy to match anybody else's energy just in case your energy is off. I don't want to match that, because I'm not trying to mess up what I have going on over here and what I put off to other people. I don't want that. And if it's not for me, I don't want it. If the people that are within my parameter, if they're not for me, I do not remove them or remove me from their path. You know, fix me, fix my heart, fix how I give. And I learned that it's better to give than it is to receive. But at the same time, when you have to receive, if someone's going to come up and give me a blessing, it's not up to me to say, no, I don't need it. No, because I'm blocking their blessing. But in order for me to get ahead, because I always want to be a blessing to people, in order for me to be a blessing to people, that means I have to have in order to be a blessing to someone else. So increase my territory. Place my feet on solid ground. Cleanse my heart. Cleanse my mind. Control my tongue. Control my thoughts. Let me take a different step back and always be able to take a different look, or another look from a different angle. Even if that means, like, let me have an out-of-body experience for a brief moment to see things from somebody else's point of view, just to make sure I'm not wrong. But what I have to do is, because I don't do all that, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't do all of that, because if it's something that I need to apologize for, I'm going to ask you for forgiveness. If I have to say I'm sorry about something, that is for you for having hurt feelings. There's a difference. Apologies are for other people. Forgiveness is for yourself. Because if I say I'm sorry and I don't feel like I did anything wrong, that's like a wasting my energy and wasting oxygen. It's already global warming. We ain't trying to do all that. So if I say, you know what, I was wrong, and I have checked myself, or my conscience, be like, hey, you know you was wrong as hell for doing that. And then I will come on back. I remember one day at work, this other coworker, we were close. You know, we had like a very small unit. So this one coworker did something that really pissed me off. You know, he jokes too much. And the other guy laughed. And he said something to me, and I snapped on him. And he's like, whoa, I'm sorry. And I'm like, almost immediately, my spirit said, you know, you were wrong. And I said, oh. And I'm over here in my cubicle, just, you know, arguing back and forth in my mind, like, no, he deserved it. He shouldn't have did this, and he shouldn't have did this. I said, no. And it was never a loud voice. I said, no, you were wrong. You will go and apologize. And you need to apologize just as loud as you said what you said. So I went over to the guy and I said, hey, just like this, because it was kind of quiet office in a way, and to make sure it was loud enough, I said, hey, you got a minute? He like, yeah, what's up? I said, look, I need to apologize. He said, no, we good. I said, no. I said, trust me. I said, this has absolutely nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with me. And I said, I'm going to apologize just as loud as I just did what I did over there. I said, because it don't sit well with me. I said, it doesn't sit well with me. And he was like, wow, well, okay. And I apologized. So at that point, when you know you're wrong, if you have any kind of conscience, it's going to check you right where you are. Now it's up to you if you hear that voice talking to you. And it's up to you if you ignore it. You have a choice. But I was saying all of that because I know I can go down a foxhole in a heartbeat. But I was saying all of that to let you know that when you are wrong about something, but whenever you apologize or you ask for forgiveness, don't be out here just saying, oh, I'm sorry, just because some people have a very thin skin. Toughen up, baby. But when you're out here and you're trying to manifest things into your life, try to fix yourself first. Because I'm not saying the manifestations can't work. They will. But how would you be able to hold on to them? So it's plenty of people that have manifested things into their lives and lost those same things because they haven't fixed themselves yet. There are plenty of people that have manifested things into their life or into their reality, and they misuse or mishandle that. You see it all the time. You hear people saying that, well, I wanted it so bad I got it and then it's gone. Well, how are you? How did you fix? How did you prepare yourself? How did you prepare yourself? Now, so I will go back to the dream that I had this morning when I said, do you want to have or do you want to continue to borrow? Do you want to have or do you want to continue to borrow? Some people don't. Some people write God just like they write boo, B-O-O, all lowercase letters. How big is God in your life? I never write capital G, small o, small d. I write all caps. Even if people say that's incorrect, I don't care what you say. I'm telling you, for me, that's what it is. Okay. So when you want to have, you ask, and stop asking God for small stuff. You're not trusting. You're not trusting. You acting like God is some random person on the street that you just gonna, well, hey, can I get $5? Okay. That's simple. There you go. Oh dang, they gave me $5. I'm gonna go back again. Oh, I need $5 more. Can I get $5? Yeah, sure, here you go. But how much do you need? Well, shoot, I really need like 100,000. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want and walk away. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, you seen my post. You may have seen my post when I had this conversation with the client. When I said to the client, I said, hey, I'm not going to tell you the whole conversation, but I would just tell you what I actually posted. And I said, well, when you make your wants or your desires known, make them known and walk away. Not just physically walk away. Vacate that thought. Bloop. Vacate it. Because you already said what you want, what your desires are, what you expect. I want $1 million by such and such and such. Or I'm going to, you got to put a date on that because I don't know. You should, on your vision boards, definitely put a date. But just for the sake of this conversation and what I had with my client, excuse me, I said make your wants and your desires known and walk away from it. And they said, why? Why would I do that? What's the purpose of doing that? Well, the purpose of doing that is, one, a lot of times when we say what we want, we have a tendency of reckoning with ourselves, and we don't even know that we're doing that. We will start saying, yeah, I want this, but then, I don't know because, the gas price over there high, and then, I don't know about the crime. You're talking yourself out of it. You're talking yourself out of it. And I always ask my clients when I do have this conversation, like, who are you reasoning with, or who are you reckoning with? Who? Because all I ask you is what you want or what you expect. You telling me everything. You told me what you want, but then you start backpedaling. I didn't say anything. Who are you talking to? Who is telling you anything differently? So make it known, and that's it. Because if you continue to sit there, you're going to start reasoning or reckoning with yourself or with whomever, the inner voice. And then you're going to start trying to figure out how. That is none of your business how. Once you make stuff known, it is none of your business how it's going to happen. That is up to God. If you, and God's timing at that. So you don't get the chance to say, shoot, I want a new car and I need that car by tomorrow. I'm going to get it. You can go get it. You can go get it. You can go get whatever you want to. But how long are you going to keep it? How long? Exactly. So what I learned along and all of this, and I never tell people anything that I have not experienced, and I don't tell people anything that I don't know. I don't. When I say, okay, I'll give you the example. When I moved here in this house, I bought my starter house, I think when I was 21. Maybe, yeah, I think I was 21. Maybe 22. Whatever. 21, 22, maybe 22. Going on 23 because by the time I was 24, I had my daughter. Okay. So my starter house was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, partial basement, a nice house, nice yard, very nice neighborhood. But when I started having children, and I have two, and I was married at the time too, my husband and I got a divorce, and years later, I struggled. So that struggling that I was talking about, it was right after that marriage. But I said, okay, I got everything. Everything was kind of ironed out. I was now on solid ground, and I was able to save money. I had money rolling in like a dope girl. I had money rolling in, and that's because of the grace of God. And I said, you know what, God? I said, these children, they're the kind of age now. Like, I've moved here, 16? So my children would have been, 6 years ago. So my children would have been 14 and 12 when we moved here. I said, I need to move because this is a starter household with one full bath. That's not going to work with two teenagers. One going in the bathroom, staying for I don't know how long in the shower, and we all got to go somewhere. So I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to start looking for another house. Yeah, when I say I wrestled with myself for the longest, because one, it's hard for me to make huge purchases. I don't care how much money I got, it's hard for me to make huge purchases. Especially, I was doing it on my own, so I didn't have anybody here on earth. I was doing it on my own with one salary. Well, I had other money coming in, like I said. But, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, let me meditate. Let me fast for a couple of days and meditate and see, what God has for me. Fasting and praying, fasting and praying, fasting and praying and meditating, fasting, praying and meditating. I'm literally in the middle of my bed, sitting Indian style with my hands quiet, and I don't like silence. But and I started, and it didn't dawn on me till one night. I think it was the last night I was fasting. And I went to sleep, and I said, well, I've been looking at houses and stuff, but I always looked at houses that were kind of close to the house that I had. And I'm like, oh, because I was stuck in a certain price range. Because I thought this is all I could afford. Baby, let me tell you something. And I try not to tear up whenever I tell this story. But when I say, I don't know if I actually looked at this house online or what, but when I tell you, when I went to sleep, I saw this house because I had already said or affirmed what I wanted in my next house. I could tell you I wanted a patio or a porch. I wanted a fireplace. I want a master suite with separate separate tubs and showers. I wanted a walk-in closet. I wanted a bedroom downstairs with a full bath downstairs because I broke my ankle before. And had to climb upstairs. And I don't know if I said it, but I wanted a fireplace and a nice kitchen, which I always had a nice kitchen. Those are some must-haves. And I want a nice yard, and I don't want my backyard facing anybody else's back of their house or the front of their house. And I don't want nobody's in mine. So I went to sleep. And lo and behold, it didn't dawn on me until I moved into the house that this was a house that God had showed me in my dream. This was a house that God had showed me in my dream. To the T. But even when in my dream, I was like, no, that's going to be too expensive. Excuse me. That's going to be too expensive. That's going to be too expensive. And then it's like God said, hey, are you going to trust you or are you going to trust me? It's up to you who you're going to trust. If I give it to you, you're not going to lose it. If I give it to you, it's yours. You're going to have it until you decide, or I get ready to elevate you when you are ready to be elevated to the next level. But if I give it to you, it's yours. Ain't nobody going to take it from you. You're not going to lose it. So you're going to trust me, or you're going to trust that salary that you go to your job and get? Because I can fix that too. When I tell you, I say, okay, let me go on. Let me go on. Let me go on and act like I know. Because that's all I ever had was God. So I don't, when I have to tell people, I don't have to, but when I tell people the story, a lot of people don't know. They're like, well, what do you do for a living? I don't mind telling you, I work in IT. As my 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. Yeah, 8 to 5. Do I do other businesses? Yes, I do other businesses. But I will tell you this. Whoever, when you start trusting God, you will see that that job that you go to will never be enough. It doesn't match your lifestyle. The job that I have, or the job that I had at that time that I moved here, didn't match my lifestyle. So when people are like, oh, they pay you real good, man, I said, no, they're not. I said, but I got a really good God. Yes, I do, and I believe in paying my tithes. I do. Because you know what? I give freely, and I am a cheerful giver. When it's come back to me, baby, it's multiplied. It's multiplied. Listen, there are levels to this manifestation thing. There are levels. You can have whatever you want in life. You got to start here first. It starts here. Why do you think the enemy always attack your mind? Because your mind is powerful. And if we're only using 10, 12% of our brain, what happens when you start increasing that? How can you increase that? How? That's a whole different story. I'll get on that topic later. But, start trusting God so you can have and not borrow. So you can be the lender, okay? You want to be able to lend. You want to be able to be a blessing to other people. And you can do all of that. But let your manifestation part starts with fixing yourself first. Start with fixing yourself. Now, very briefly, I'll go back and touch on, what did I say I was going to touch on? Crap it. The fact when I said that one of my prayers was to never see myself as other people see me. Not to say I don't have confidence or anything like that. I'm very, very confident. I live out loud, but I don't live out loud. Like, you don't never hear me brag about anything, because I understand that I don't have nothing. I am a steward over things. I'm a steward over my children. Even though I just said mine, but I'm a steward over them. They don't belong to me. I'm here to just raise them in the right path or in the right direction, so when they go and be adults, they do the right things. But when I say I don't want to see myself as other people see me, because people have said some very hurtful things to me as a child. Even if that was, based on my dark skin, being called all out my name. My dad died when I was 9 years old, something like that. Probably 8. And I had just turned 8. So people are like, oh, that's why I got a daddy you don't like. People are just kids, just mean. People, grown-ups said mean things about my mom, stuff like that. My dad died of cancer, but my son going somewhere. But I never wanted to see myself the way other people see me. Just in case you saw me in a negative way, that would never bother me, because I know who I am. Even if you see me as a positive thing, that's what I always try to be. So that's good. So I don't ever look in the mirror and say, oh, girl, you fine. Oh, girl, you fat. Da, da, da. No, if I look in the mirror and say, hey, Mickey, you need to lose some of that weight, then that's what I need to do. That's on me. Not because of anything that anybody else said. So when I go and fix on myself, everything is for me. It's for me and because of me. Because I ask God to guide me, not man. So I don't want to see myself just if a guy say, oh, you fine or whatever, and my head just blows up. No, I don't see that. When I look in the mirror, I see a normal person. I see a normal person. I don't wear, you can see me, you see me in any videos, I can guarantee you 99.9 of them, I don't have on any makeup. The most I would have on is chapstick or lip gloss. This is, now, like, this hair, this ain't mine, but it is, because I paid a lot of money for it. But, yeah, I just don't want to see myself and try to always compete with other people. I don't. And when I say the stuff that I've been made a steward over, like, you never see a picture of my house on Facebook or on social media. You may see the front door, but that's about it. You may see some glimpse of it on the inside, but that's about it. You're not seeing, oh, you'll never be able to ride down this street and say, oh, that's where Tamika lives. You'll never be able to say that. Crazy. What? I don't even know what that is. But you'll never see me say that. You'll never see me say, oh, this is what kind of car I drive. What am I bragging about? What? Because I don't want my life to be a comparison to anybody else. I don't. We don't live that way. That's not the way I raise my children. I like, hey, we're in a lane. There are billions of lanes going in different directions. Each person has their own lane. Stay in yours. Because when you start crossing over in other people's lanes, that's when things get confusing. And then it's hard for you to find your way back to your lane. Stay in your lane. If you want something along your path, call it into existence. Call it and keep it moving. It may not hit you at this stop sign. It may not hit you at that intersection. It may not hit you on that straightaway, but it's coming. And it's going to come exactly when you need it. So be vigilant. Stay on your path. Don't try to look and compare your life and what you have to what other people have. That GOAT stuff, let it go, because I don't even know what that is. The greatest of all times. Who are you comparing that to? Because I'm the greatest on my path. The greatest on my path. And that's the way I tell my children. You the greatest thing on your path. You are the greatest person to live your life. Because it's your life. It's yours. So whatever you have that comes up that's not the way that you want it, change it. Call something else into existence. How did you call that? Because if you were looking at something else, call that negative thing into existence. What made you think that you couldn't do it? Who told you that you had to be at a certain point or mile marker on your path at what time? Who determined that? You did. True, and I tell them all the time, like, yeah, your mom bought a house when she was 21 and 22. Yeah, I did go and I went to the military. I didn't have my first child until I was 24. The second one, I was about 26. Yeah, I did this and I did that. I said, but check this out. Even though I went to the military right after high school, I didn't go to college until I was, 20? I think I started when I was like 20. Before I was pregnant. 21, I started a technical school. But even then, after that, I got pregnant, I started getting sick. They didn't have the classes that I needed to graduate. I found out that my class is not going to transfer to a bachelor's degree. So I'm like, you know what? I just threw away some money. We ain't doing that. So, so after that, a couple years after that, after I had my daughter, I think, I started going to Clayton State University. I got darn near finished with my classes, with my program there. They didn't have all the classes I needed to finish. So I was like, forget that. And plus I started going through a divorce. So I transferred to an online school and I was able to finish within a couple of months or a year. Before I even got that degree in mail, I started my master's program. Finished that, then I changed positions. I went from being in the accounting department into the IT department. While I'm in my IT program, I started another master's program, which was my MBA. Finished that, went on about my business, stayed at that same job that beat me up and didn't appreciate me at all, but I had put in a prayer a long time ago. I said, hey God, but I asked God, like, to pick me up when the time is right. You know what job I want. You know what kind of career I'm looking for. I said, I want to be at a job that I'm appreciated. I prefer to work from home, making really good money. The people appreciate me, and they appreciate what I bring to the table. That's exactly what I do. That's where I am, but it took me years to get there. But I said, in your time. And Ashton, seriously, stop it. In due time. I said, in your timing, not my timing, your timing. So, and that's what happened. So anything that you want, you can have. But if you're going to continue to ask God for the small things, you're going to continue to get the small things. Start asking for big things. Start asking for the things that's going to really have an impact. You'll be shocked. You'll be surprised. Like, wow, that was easy. Yeah, but in the process, don't forget, give. Make sure your energy matches what you're calling for. If your energy is not matching, then go get that up. Go get it up. Get excited about life. Get excited about your life. Get excited about the things that God can do in your life. It is an endless possibility. I don't even know if that made sense, but there are endless possibilities. Endless. This little stuff that people got going on here, the 1% owns billions and trillions. That ain't got nothing on God. You hear me? Whatever you want, whatever you desire, you can have it. Fix your mindset first. Manifest that. Manifest yourself. Manifest the best you that you can think of. Manifest that and watch how things shape up and change. So I hope that I helped somebody. I hope I did. I am always here. Yes, I do consult, business and personal wise. And I do teach meditation, because when I meditate, it's on a whole different level. I don't believe in there is a certain way to meditate, but I think that whatever you want to meditate on is possible. You just have to make sure your mind is in a good place, your spirit is in a good place, and your energy is there. If you're not stable, if your emotions are all over the place, I would tell you hit the pause button and fix that first. Okay? So anyway, and yeah, we can work on that too if you want to. So hit me up however you want to. I will post this video, because right now I'm just recording. I will post this video on my Real Talk with Mika page, and I will probably post snippets of it on Facebook. And yeah, so y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.